So, here's the vicious cookie syndrome. This is the kid that comes home from school, they play hard at recess, they might have a slice of pizza at lunch, but they really don't want to bother eating. They want to play, they want to do whatever they want to do. Their mother or father pick them up after school, and they're going to go shopping. They haven't eaten yet, really. Sometimes they might have had breakfast, or maybe they ate at Nutrition, a donut and some juice. Okay, that's unfortunately fairly typical. And then they're going through the shopping, and they pass by Mrs. Fields, and of course it's going to call their name. They're hungry. And when you're hungry like that, you crave carbohydrates, right? So here's the vicious cookie syndrome, and this is kind of how this works. This person's eaten mostly high glycemic foods throughout most of the day. So here's optimal blood sugar right here in the middle. So when this person keeps eating the high glycemic foods, the blood sugar goes up, the pancreas shoots out that insulin to lower it as a protective mechanism. It lowers all right, but it doesn't lower to here, it lowers here because that pancreas wants to make sure that that blood sugar got lowered. Now you're low blood sugar, you're a little cranky, you're a little headache, you're storing body fat when you're down here and going too many hours, and you are craving what kind of food? Sugar, carbs, give me my carbs. So you're in that vicious cycle again. You go for the carbs, and it brings your blood sugar up, but it doesn't usually bring it to normal unless it's a good high fiber, whole grain, fruit, vegetable, something like that. It goes up to here again. So you're either running too high or you're running too low, and that causes a lot of havoc on the system. And eventually, in later years, that's what may set in a pre-diabetes state because the pancreas is just like, oh my God, I'm done with this up-down stuff. I'm done. I'm burnt out. Okay? So in this scenario, this is where the blood sugar was low after school. We went and had the cookie. It came back high. Then after a little while, there wasn't any protein or good healthy food, so the blood sugar dropped down here again. And you're in this constant cycle of give me my carbs, low sugar, high sugar. And it's really detrimental to the body. And there's a lot of kids especially that are doing this. And childhood obesity is on the rise. It's a problem. So here's just an approximate index of what the top 10 low glycemic foods would be on the right side. So apples, berries and cherries, barley, grapefruit, legumes, nuts, oatmeal, green peas, tomatoes, unsweetened plain yogurt. This is just an idea of the foods that will help keep the blood sugar nice and stable. Over here are the foods that can produce harmfully high blood sugars and a high insulin response. The ones you all know about, the candy, the cookie, the sweetened juices, the white potato, all these that are listed here, which is a big part of the SAD diet, the average American diet. Okay, sad. Portion sizes and eating frequency. Do not skip meals. Even if people aren't in touch with their hunger signals, they'll say to me, but Joellen, I'm not hungry. I'll say, in the beginning, it doesn't matter. I still want you to eat every 3 to 4 hours because you've lost touch with those hunger signals. You need to get them back. I've become so in touch with my hunger signals that I get this headache after about 3.5 hours if I get too involved in something and I forget to eat, and then the headache is just there. So you've got to catch that. And I've helped more people with migraines who just thought they had a medical problem when it really was that they just were not maintaining a healthy blood sugar level. Do not skip meals. Skipping meals leads to increased production of hormones that cause muscle loss as well. Eat frequently, 3 small meals and 2 to 3 snacks daily. Does that take being pretty organized, having all that food planned out? That is the key. And that's something that it may seem very simplistic, but I will work with people on how to plan out their day. It's called environmental control. There's positive and there's negative environmental control. Positive environmental control is what you bring into your environment to help you to be more successful. It might be those little packs of raw almonds that Trader Joe's sells, so that I always have one in my purse. It might be a good, healthy protein bar from Designs for Health or Metagenics, or one that has a good amount of protein, low sugar, and a little bit of fiber in it. It could be some hummus and carrot sticks. Whatever it is, plan out your day. You have to think about it almost the night before to say, what's my day tomorrow going to be like in order to make this work? You want to maintain stable blood sugar, and that's what eating frequently is going to do. Use a food such as ultra meal or the paleo meal to achieve eating frequency goals and to increase the quality nutrient intake while decreasing calorie intake. I will often use the medical foods. because I find that people have a hard time figuring out what to eat for 5 different meals of the day. 3 meals, 2 snacks. So the shakes are perfect for that. I have one every single morning, and I throw half my vitamins in there, and I just drink it down because I get tired of taking too many pills. So you can do, there's several different types of products you can use. If you've got a lot of inflammation in the body, we might recommend Ultra Inflamix. If it's really just for fat loss and you don't really have metabolic syndrome, a paleo meal might work fine. If you're insulin resistant or you are diabetic, an ultraglycemic. So we kind of gear it toward what your individual situation is. Doctor, do you have a question or a comment?
It's 20 to 9 right now.
Okay,
so
got it.
We're going to have to
Let me finish up quickly and we'll do. Thank you. Okay, this is just a great little comic, and if you can just look through it quickly, it kind of talks about the hamburger the difference here, the cookie, the soda change, the popcorn change, and then in the end, the consumer is the dressing non-fat. We're on diets. Isn't that cute? I love that one. Okay, so we already talked about blood sugar. Fish oil, extremely important. It is an anti-inflammatory and supports the brain and nervous system. So my kids have been on fish oil since they've been young to support the brain and nervous system and any inflammation that might be going on in our bodies. And we all have some inflammation. I'm not going to go through the physical activity because that we've done. Bottom line is diet and exercise is the key, as well as your environmental control, as well as figuring out what's going on with your body. But we want low glycemic index foods, small frequent meals. We use the medical food, the protein bars or the powder for shakes if that works in your program. Fish oil, exercise, and whatever additional supplementation is recommended through the office. I often have people keep a food log or a food diary because that way you are confronting what's going on, and it helps me to look at and see what we need to do with you also. And this just goes through an individual program plan and what calorie amount I might recommend, whether we're going to use meal replacement, what the physical activity plan would be, and what the nutritional supplements might look like. Okay, so that's the program.